The true story of Bloody Mary, Britain's first violent queen. If you are a big fan of horror films, you must be familiar with the name Bloody Mary. This figure is known as a witch named Mary Worth. She is believed to have lived for more than 100 years and has black magic. Although she has lived a long time, Mary is believed to have a beautiful appearance and is still young. She often appears in the mirror and takes the lives of her victims. This sorcerer will use young girls as sacrifices to strengthen her black magic. This is the famous Bloody Mary story in Europe. Did you know that Bloody Mary is a real and famous figure in England? Once upon a time, the British Empire was ruled by several queens, including Queen Mary I, who was the first queen of the British Empire. But in contrast to Queen Elizabeth II, Queen Mary I is known as a cruel queen. So cruel, she even earned the nickname, Bloody Mary. Reporting from History.com, the first Queen of England is known to be cruel. Mary I's childhood. Mary Tudor or Mary I was the Queen of England who reigned from 1553 until her death in 1558. She earned the nickname Bloody Mary for slaughtering hundreds of people by burning them at the stake. Born on February 18, 1516 at Ascension Palace in Greenwich, England, Mary Tudor, or better known as Mary I, was the first daughter of King Henry VIII and his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. Unfortunately, Mary's father wanted a son to be his successor. After failing to bear a son, King Henry VIII divorced Catherine. Instead, he married Anne Boleyn in 1520. Not only leaving his mother, Henry VIII also banished Mary Tudor to the Welsh, and removed her from the list of heirs to the throne. Having no sons to inherit, King Henry finally married Anne Boleyn, one of Catherine's maids. After Anne gave birth to Elizabeth, Henry, who did not love Anne anymore, and gave false accusations and beheaded Anne Boleyn in 1536. After executing Anne, Henry married Jane Seymour, who eventually gave birth to a son named Edward. In 1544, Henry VIII returned Mary Tudor and Elizabeth I to court. Henry also reinstated Mary and Elizabeth as heirs to the throne. While Mary Tudor became the second heir after Edward, Elizabeth I had to settle for third place. Mary's coup against the British Empire and becomes first queen. When Edward VI inherited the throne at the age of 9 in 1547, Mary had to deal with differences between them regarding religion. Unlike Edward and Elizabeth I, who embraced Protestantism, Mary Tudor was a devout Catholic. However, Edward did not live long. He died of tuberculosis in 1553. After that, Jane Grey, who was Edward's distant cousin, ascended the throne on July 10, 1553 through a secret agreement between herself and Edward's personal advisor. Not wanting her position taken away, Jane Grey asks her father-in-law, Northumberland, to arrest Mary. Mary, who does not accept the rise of Jane Grey, decides to flee to East Anglia, and gathers troops. Within 9 days, Mary had defeated Northumberland, ousted Jane Grey from power, and proclaimed herself Queen of England. Unlike most other princesses who became queens by marrying a king, Mary ruled in her own right, which made her the first Queen of England in history. The reign of Mary I. During her reign, Mary Tudor attempted to return the British Empire to Catholicism. He also abolished many religious laws made by his father and half-brothers, and restored the doctrine of the Catholic Church. Thereafter, Mary married Philip II, son of Emperor Charles V of Spain, to strengthen alliances with the Catholic community. During her 5 years of leadership, Mary burned about 300 Protestants who refused to convert to Catholicism. For her crimes, the Queen was nicknamed Bloody Mary by her own people. Although at first Mary's marriage to Philip II went well, but the absence of offspring between them caused its own problems. Meanwhile, the alliance with Spain dragged Britain into a military conflict with France, which forced him to release Calais. In the end, Mary died at St. James's Palace in London on the 17th of November 1558 and was buried in Westminster Abbey. Her half-sister succeeded the throne as Queen Elizabeth I in 1559.